Hello my lovely people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caroline, and if it's the first time stopping by, you are definitely welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to leave some comments below. Be sure to turn on the notification so that you shouldn't miss out on my next video. So in today's video, I am going to talk about slay queens. Slay queens, that are a problem. Before going further, I just want to tell you that here on my platform, most of the time I upload my video 10:30, depending on the country that you are living. I upload my video 10:30, like in European countries, it's 10:30, which is like PM. So on my channel, normally I focus on advising people. I talk about, most of the time, I also cover videos which are for entertainment purpose and educational purpose, but mainly I focus on interracial marriage. I have covered a lot of topics concerning interracial marriage due to the thing that I have seen here in Europe, the way they treat some African lady, so for me, it's very, I'm an emotional person. I'm very emotional because I don't like a situation whereby I see certain kind of people trying to abuse others. For me, I don't like it. That's the reason why you see that sometimes, I go very hard, because for some of you who are living in Africa there, you won't understand, the things that some other Africans that are going through here, So as I've already said, the topic is going to be about slay queens. Slay queens, have got a problem whereby they will try their level best. For some of you men there, who leave your wives, just because, you have got a problem in your marriage, you cannot be able to reconcile with your wife, and then you go outside there, trying to look for the slay queens. Slay queens, they are very, very, very smart, let me tell you. The moment when you approach them and tell them your problem, because you have to understand that some other men, normally if they've got a problem in their marriage, they tell the slay queens that right now I'm facing a challenge with my wife, me and my wife. Some they go to an extent of lying, even if the wife is treating him good, he'll just lie, because he wants to sleep with a slay queen, So normally they lie in most cases, some other men, So these slay queens, what they do, they will look at the weaknesses of the wife. If the husband has told the slay queens that my wife, she's not cooking for me, my wife, she's not washing my clothes, you know what they do? They look on the weaknesses of the wife, and then after that, they'll be doing those weaknesses of the wives, and then they'll make it into positive things, Then they'll start to polish the husband's shoes, they'll be cleaning, they'll be cooking, just to confuse that man, to leave his wife, In return, you'll find that sometimes, they want papers. Sometimes they want to live abroad, because you have to understand that some people, more special slave queens here in Europe, some, they don't have the right to live within the country. So those ones, you have to be very, very, very careful. And then for some of you ladies out there, who are happily married, you have to be very, very careful. Regardless, even if you go through a very, very big problem in your marriage with your husband, don't go to an extent of throwing your husband out there, because I know some other lady, most of the time, when they go through a disagreement with their husband, they will throw the husband out there, because you have to understand that men, they're I know if I say this word, some, they're going to find it very offensive, because they conduct themselves, they're like kids, So the moment when you keep on throwing your husband outside there, maybe tomorrow he's not going to come back, because you have to understand that some other ladies out there in the street, they are looking for husbands, they want husband. Then you, as a wife, you keep on throwing your husband out there, you find that maybe sometimes he's not going to come back. So you have to be very careful, regardless, even if you are facing a problem. Make sure that you settle your problem with your husband, regardless, even if you've got for me, I prefer a situation, if I have got a problem, I am not going to throw him out, It's either, he will sleep, maybe separate, because you have to understand that in marriage, people go through a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles, but I don't like a situation where I'll throw the person out there, even if you've got some disagreement, he can sleep in the sofa maybe for 1 month or for 2 weeks, depending on on the type of a person you are, because some other some other lady, they can get angry for many years, not thinking that maybe even them, they make some mistake, so don't do such kind of a mistake, because some slave queens, they will take your husband, because some, they want papers, because some other ladies, some slave queens, they're very, very smart. Let me tell you, ladies out there, if you never used to kiss your husband, some slave queens, when they that man, when he will reach those slave queens, he will start to kiss your husband in the public like this, just for confusing him. Normally, that's not love. Normally, that's not love. It's fake love, She will be kissing your husband in the public like this, kissing your husband just for show off. That's when you know that this is not a real relationship. This lady, either she's doing that, to make that the wife of the husband, to leave the husband, so that she should take the place of the wife. So it's very important that we have to be very careful. Some of you who are married, not every, some other issue, they're very little, but sometimes we human beings, we make some little problem to become very, very big, So for me, I just encourage you to be to resolve your problem together, not a situation whereby you'll be allowing another person, to be sending him out there. That's the reason why you used to see that some other men, you find that they'll be running around with different side chicks. They won't even be able to support their kids. They won't even be able to give you money, because the entire money will be going to the slave queens. And then those slave queens, most of the time, that it's not easy if you have already thrown out your husband out of the house, and then it happens that he has met a slave queen. It's not easy for your husband to come back, because those slave queens, they are going to work on your weaknesses. They will make sure that if you were not respecting that man, they will respect him. They will be kneeling down on him, not necessarily maybe meaning that maybe they love that man for who he is. They want money. They want this lavish life. Wow, So they will work on your weaknesses. That's the reason why I told that it's not easy for your husband. For some of you who are always throwing your husband out there, when it happens that he gets a lady out there, it's not going to be easy, because you have to understand those slave queens. They will make sure that they will dress, because normally we African, when we reach a certain age, we try to be laid back. You find that for the slave queens, even on social media, you saw even here on YouTube. Even here on YouTube, there are some slave queens who will fake love like this until they will get their papers. Once when they will get their papers, these slave queens, if you are joking, they will make your husband to become a king. If you were not treating your husband very well, they will make sure that they will kiss him, make when he goes out there, they will make sure that they polish the shoes, they wash his shoes, and do everything, just to confuse him so that he should not even think about you. When he will realize he has been doing a lot of mistakes, maybe when the money is gone, or maybe when the man is already sick. So that's the reason why you have to be very, very important. For some of you ladies, you are the one who are supposed to be controlling those men out there. You control them, because you have to. You see, for me, I'm not going to allow a man whereby if I'm married to you, and when you get money, you are not showing me your money, and then after that you expect that I'll be sitting at home. You will be going there traveling, saying that, hey, I'm going to work. No. When you get your money, make sure that I see your money, because the moment when you, as a wife, make sure that if you are married, make sure that you see how much you have to know how much your husband is working for. Even when he's spending, you have to know, so that you should not allow your husband to be spending money on another lady, yet he cannot even be able to buy for you a bra, or maybe he cannot even take you on a date. So you have to be very, very careful. For some of you ladies, don't listen to these ladies who will be telling you that, hey, me, I used to teach my husband a lesson. I used to throw him out, Don't do those things. Those people, they're influencing you so that you should lose your husband. Be very careful, because some other people here in European countries, they are looking for papers. When they find your husband that he's depressed, they will take advantage of him, faking it until they get the papers. Once when they get the papers, they'll throw him like a used plastic in the dustbin. So you have to be very careful, my sisters out there. Some ladies out here in the street, they don't care. They don't care. Even if they can be your friend, the moment when your husband will laugh with them, you have to be very careful. Some other ladies, once when they're targeting to make papers, some they even go to an extent whereby they can get pregnant for your husband so that they should get what papers. Be very careful. When you walk, let me tell you, for some of you, if you are married, make sure that your husband is like this. Learn to hug your husband. Learn to kiss your husband so that these side chicks, they should know their place. Otherwise, if you're just going to be what they always, like behaving like back in Africa, they like having a head which is very hard. Some simple lady, they will come and snatch your husband. So you have to be very, 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 very careful. Make sure that you become romantic also. When you go in the street, they hug your husband, hold his hands. Not a situation whereby every time when your husband is trying to hold your hands, you'll be saying, even you, you like to hold hands even when we go in the street. No. Make sure that if it's possible, distract him so that some other ladies, they should not look, some other men, because men, they go with what they see out there, So distract him if it's possible. You see me? I'm not going to allow, a situation whereby a man will be what I'm walking with him is just looking at some other ladies, some side chicks like this. I'll distract him if it's possible. That's the reason why you have to dress so that your husband, if it's possible, when you go out there, you should be saying, where are you going? So that, for me, I prefer some ladies to be above, so that the husband should become jealous. It's very important, when your husband becomes jealous of you, so that, he won't be looking at other ladies. But the moment when you become laid back, then you leave yourself, you don't clean yourself, he'll be looking at some other ladies like this. So, ladies, be very careful. Watch after your husband. Some slay queens, they are everywhere in the street. They don't care. Even if you are pregnant, they don't care. Even if you are the friend, they don't care. Because some other ladies, even if they can hear a man saying that, I'm in love with your friend, they don't care. As long as they want papers. The moment when they get papers, that's when you will see their true colors. I have seen a lot of men here in Europe. Some other men here in Europe, they go through a very, very, very difficult